And we're back. Games coming thick and fast. Champions League, match day 3, game 3, week 3, however you want to put it. Liverpool travel to Leipzig today to take on the German team in the Champions League. Tomorrow, Leipzig, brilliant place. I've played there in punk gigs many times over the years, playing in squats and nightclubs that look like there's something out of Terminator. Loads of no cops graffiti everywhere. It's brilliant. If you're looking for a German team to support, don't support Red Bull Leipzig. Support Chemie Leipzig, the best team in Germany. But that being said, on with this video, which is going to be a little team selection video, who I think I would pick as well, but I think who Arne Slot is going to pick for this Champions League away game. So right into it, no surprise there. Keller is going to be in goal. Not much he could have done without that Chelsea goal. I didn't think. It was tough conditions for a goalkeeper. Tough conditions for a goalkeeper who likes to pass it out from the back and is told to pass it out from the back. So, yeah, it was a tough one on Sunday in many respects for Keller, but I think he's got to go in there. Against Leipzig, I think also next to him, no-brainer, it's going to be Virgil van Dijk and his mate Ibrahim Konate. Maybe school of thought that Konate should be getting a rest at some point. Kind of maybe had a tendency to pick up little injuries through overplaying over the past couple of years. How he's playing has maybe changed a little bit this season. I don't know how the training, how much that has changed, but if you are going to kind of rotate Konate, this isn't the game to do it. I think he's going to be needed more than ever in this game, away game, tough away game against Leipzig. So I think Van Dijk, Konate are going to be in there. On the left, this lad's fit. Costa Tsimikas, he picked up a little injury. I don't think he was even on the bench against Chelsea. Back in training today, but even though I think Robbo could do with a little bit of a rest, he's going to play this. He's got the experience to be playing in a European away game. He's got a European Cup in his medal draw. I think carrying on from what we've seen from him for the kind of start of the season, we're going to see a pretty not withdrawn, but a little pretty kind of cautious, reserved performance, defensively minded performance from Andy Robertson. I think those days when we see him, raiding up and down the left, they're probably behind him. Not so much that he couldn't do it, but I think that what he's required from him in this Arne Slot team is different what is being required from him in the past. And I think he's got the qualities there to play as a more defensive-minded fullback. Speaking of defensive-minded fullbacks, people don't really say that about Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I thought he had a really good defensive game against Chelsea. Let me just find him here. Sorry, I'm just having a little struggle with my pen. He had a really good defensive game against Chelsea. So maybe Arne Slot, not someone who's known to be, too kind of predisposed to rotating his back four. Maybe Trent will stay in there. However, I think Trent could probably do with a little bit of a rest. Not that he's looking fatigued at the minute, but just looking at the fixtures coming up, massive game on Sunday. And then obviously you got Brighton coming up. I mean, there's no shortage of massive games. And then, as you move towards Christmas period, I think you've got to start thinking about congestion now if you can save minutes in players' legs. Even though this is a really important game, I think we might see Joe Gomez coming there. Got some little bit of time at the end of the Chelsea game. I can see he was a little bit rusty, but he did a good defensive job down the left there with Neto. Didn't allow him to cut and cross. Leipzig's main threat, I think, is going to be down the flanks. They're going to be playing on the counter-attack and looking to expose Liverpool down the wings. I think if you've got Joe Gomez in there, who is more of a natural defender, you don't really want to see him raiding up and down the line. You're not really going to see him want to step into midfield and spray balls around and what have you. If he can go in there and perform a defensive task, I think that's what Slot is going to want from this game. And giving Trent a little bit of a rest, even though I think he will play some part in the game, I think he might come on rather than start the game. So another player will be starting. There's going to be Ryan Gravenberch there. He's been brilliant. He's been sensational all season. And this is the kind of game we're going to need him because Leipzig, play with 2 number 10s. They're going to try and really strangle the life out of those central areas. And Ryan Gravenberch has proved that he's the man when it comes to receiving the ball in tight areas, tight spaces, and just not being flustered at all. And I think he is Mr. Cool there. And I mean, there aren't that many more options in the squad anyway, but I think he's nailed on there to start. Few little options there, a few little questions in midfield and up front, but let's start with the man who's definitely, absolutely 100% going to start, and his name's Mo Salah. Oh, Diogo Jota's gone in there for a minute. Let's keep Jota in there for a second. Mo Salah is going to be there. Sensational again, maybe slightly on the periphery at times from an attacking point of view against Chelsea, but there's willingness there to get stuck in, do the difficult work, do the ugly work, track back, all that kind of stuff. That's a big part of his game as well. And then what is also a huge part of his game is affecting big matches in a positive way. And he's done it again with a goal and an assist. A goal under pressure, obviously a penalty there in a big game like that. He just looks so cool. And his penalties, after he missed a couple last season, he looks like he's back on form and 100% confident from the penalty spot. His assist for Curtis Jones for that goal, the winning goal, as it turned out to be, absolutely, delightful, phenomenal, whatever you want to call it. He was great there, and he's going to be playing in a big game again. I don't think he's going to get rested too much this season. Full stop. He's in such phenomenal condition. You probably don't need to rest him that much. He's not sprinting like the Salah of old. He's a different beast, and he's in fantastic form. But Diogo Jota's in there, but he's not going to be playing because he's not fit. He sustained that injury against Chelsea, wasn't training today. I don't think he's travelling with the squad or anything like that. I don't think he's got any chance of starting against Arsenal either. I don't really know the extent of that, but Arne Slot didn't seem too confident about it. So your man there, Darwin Nunez, will start. And you know what? He deserves it. I thought he had a good performance against Chelsea, came on, got stuck in, didn't have a shot on goal. Jota didn't have a shot on goal anyway. So, I mean, if you want to talk about that. But his all-round play, a bit of a number 9, dropping in, holding the ball off, spraying the ball off, defensive headers, all this kind of stuff was really impressive from Jota. I think he only went offside once as well, which must be a record from him. Also, we're used to seeing him kind of leading the line, going offside, all that business. I think his average position against Chelsea was much deeper around this kind of area. So, I mean, he's not quite Bobby Firmino when it comes to being a false 9, but he showed a willingness to drop there, look for the ball, get involved, occupy defenders, and I think we might see a little bit more of that again, rather than trying to stretch play that much, because, I mean, that's where we see the weaker side of his games is timing those offside runs. But he's going to play there. Questioning on the left, do you play Cody Gakpo, who played against Chelsea there? Again, like Salah on the other side there, Gakpo was kind of on the periphery of the attacking stuff. But he did find himself in a really good position there. Classic Gakpo position. We'd expect him to, kill the ball in the top corner, and it went high into the cop there. And I think Luis Diaz will start. So he came on against Chelsea, did all right. Didn't pull up any trees like that, but did occupy Chelsea. But what we've seen from Slot is a willingness just to rotate between those two players, kind of regardless about what they do in the game and what form they're in. He'll rotate between the two of them, and it seems to be working. So Diaz is going to start there, leaving the last question on the pitch there. Is this fella going to start? Szoboszlai. Against... right now, one more question here. McAllister's going to start. Let's talk about McAllister for a second there. We leave Szoboszlai on the pitch. McAllister, he'll drop in, and Liverpool will play with a double pivot there, as they tend to away from home against dangerous sides. But either of those players will look for opportunities to get forward. When one of them gets forward, one sits. Gravenberch gets forward, McAllister sits. You know exactly what they're going to do there, but McAllister gives you a little bit of control, an element of control, a cool head. It's what we really miss when he's not in the side. As good as Curtis Jones was as a replacement there, I think McAllister, his main attribute is control in the midfield. So, you can really notice it when he's not there. I think he will be there. He's training today. looks like he'll be fit enough to take a decent amount of that game. I don't think he'll play 90 minutes, but he will start. So in front of them there, Dom Szoboszlai. Let's talk about Chelsea performance for Szoboszlai. He really struggled, like some of the other offensive players. He struggled to make a positive offensive contribution. But what you get from Szoboszlai is a lot of running, a lot of pressing. Doesn't give up in those kind of circumstances. But it didn't really happen for him with the ball. And this lad, Curtis Jones, was man of the match by far. It really affected the game. Did everything he did seemed to come off for him. Really positive. Good defensively, good in transition, scored a goal, all that kind of, won a penalty, should have won another penalty, possibly. But that was with him starting out there. So there is a possibility that McAllister could go a little bit further forward as a 10, but I don't think he will. I think how congested that middle part of the pitch is going to be, I think McAllister's going to be there, and it's going to be down to Jones to press, help press that back three of Leipzig's, but also get back, knit that midfield together, but look for those little opportunities to do that run beyond. Hopefully Nunez can be in that kind of number 9 mode where he can hold the ball up, do some of those little silky flicks that we've seen him do, and leave space there for Curtis Jones to run into, like he can do and he likes doing. It's a bit of a 90s Premier League throwback kind of thing to do. You don't really see that in the league that much anymore, in football that athletic midfielder who likes to get beyond a forward. But I think that's something that Curtis Jones can do really, really effectively. So I think that'll be my starting 11 against Leipzig. I think that might be Slot's as well. The only real difference there, I think, maybe if he starts Trent instead of Gomez. Score prediction against Leipzig, I think it's going to be very, very tight. It'd be good to win and kind of really cement that spot in that upper part of the Champions League. But away at Leipzig, I'd probably be happy with a draw, 1-1 draw. I think if I'm being positive there, Liverpool could squeak here 2-1. I expect Darwin Nunez to have some kind of positive effect on the game. And I expect Curtis Jones to as well. It's exciting stuff to be a Liverpool fan at the minute, back in Europe. How far they can go, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how it works with this table still. But hopefully, if you just keep winning, that means you go through and you win something at some point. So let's hope Liverpool do that. Enjoy the match. Up the Reds.